What a morning this is turning out to be. It is 9 o'clock Athens time, which would make it 10 o'clock Moscow time in the morning. So I wake up and I hear that there's action going down in Ukraine. Now, the Russians are calling this a special military operation in the Donbass. It's important to mention that that's how they are labeling this special military operation in Donbass. The United States, the Biden White House, NATO, Ukraine are saying this is a full-on invasion and an attack. I believe NATO has gone as far as saying that this is an act of war, a declaration of war. I don't know if that was Borrell from the EU or Stoltenberg that said that. Anyway, so obviously you have two different narratives going on. You know, what's the truth? Who knows? Right now, let's just say it's probably somewhere in the middle. But we really don't know much about what's going on. And I'm going to get this video up really quick. So if the audio is a little poor or something is in the video is not so good, my apologies. I just want to get this up real quick and just get you the information that I know, what I think is going on. And we're going to do lives, I imagine, today throughout the day on the Duran. So we'll probably do a live in a few hours once we get some more information as to what's going on, because this military operation that's taking place is, you know, a few hours old. Like I'm saying, it's 9 o'clock here. So from what I understand, everything started at 7:30 time. 7:30 time Ukraine, or 7:30 time Moscow. So I mean, we're looking at maybe, 2 hours into this. So let's get into this. Let's figure out what's going on. So Russian President Vladimir Putin came out with a statement, and he said that he's ordering a special military operation in Donbass. He said that Russia has no plans to occupy its neighbors. He said that he's going to demilitarize, that Russia's going to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine, the Donbass in Ukraine. And that's important to understand what he means by that. So let me get to that. Once again, it's a stream of consciousness type of video here. So if I'm a little all over the place, once again, I apologize for that. But so that was a statement from Putin, and sure enough, you had some action taking place. And the reports that we're getting is that Russia is taking out various, with missile strikes, precision. The Russian military is saying precision missile strikes. They're taking out Ukraine's ability to conduct any type of retaliation. And they're just taking out military facilities and bases. The military, the defense department, the military of defense in Russia said that they are not, this is what they said, their statement, they're not targeting civilians. There's no reasons for civilians to be afraid, and they're targeting military installations and facilities. Where these facilities are, well, we're getting reports, and I'm seeing video. Let me sit down here. I'm seeing video on Telegram that there are explosions and reports of explosions in and around Boryspil Airport, which is the airport in Kiev. And there are reports of explosions in military facilities in and around Kharkiv, which is a city towards the east. It's probably the largest city furthest east, i.e. closest to Donbass and Lugansk. It's very close to the Russian border, maybe 30 kilometers, give or take, to the Russian border in the east. And I'll take a little bit of time to put some maps on here before I get this up, so everyone knows what we're talking about. But those are the reports that we're getting right now. And there were reports that there were Russian troops that landed in Odessa via the Black Sea. That is fake news. 100% fake news as of right now. As of right now, it's fake news, and it's been labeled fake news by the Ukraine military. So the Ukraine military said that there are no Russian troops in Odessa. I've also heard that there are Russian troops securing the areas in and around Boryspil airport in Kiev. I've heard reports which say that's fake news as well, though I can't, I'm not 100% there. So I don't know, but the Ukraine military has definitely said the Russian troops landing in Odessa, which is the seaside town down south, is false. That is fake news. So what's going on? This is my hunch. Let me take this off here. All right, so this is my hunch. And if you go by what happened in Georgia in 2008, this is how I see the situation. Around 5 o'clock, 4:35, there are reports from the OSCE, as well as from officials in Donetsk and Lugansk. But the ODYSEE is pretty much, impartial. If anything, they're even more anti-Russian than anything. But there were reports that 4:35 in the morning, there was an increase in the shelling towards the east of Ukraine, towards Lugansk and Donetsk. Now, throughout the day, when Russia announced that it recognized Donetsk and Lugansk, there seemed to be a little bit of a pause, or there seemed to be a slight dial down in the Ukraine army's advance or in their shelling towards the east. As the day went along and we entered the evening, it seemed like that started to increase again. And in the early morning, it seemed that there was a tick up in the shelling towards the east. Now, I don't know if that's the impetus that Russia needed. I don't know if it was a significant increase, or if the Ukraine army was actually thinking of perhaps pushing towards the east, actually trying to make what I would call a suicide mission advance into Donetsk and Lugansk. But it seems that an hour and a half later, Russia went on the offensive. And it seems that Putin ordered the military to take action and in his words, to demilitarize and denazify the Ukraine military once and for all. And I think what's going on here is that if you look at Georgia in 2008, and you look at what Russia did there with Abkhazia and South Ossetia, when Russian peacekeepers were attacked, and they were attacked, and the EU has also, the EU courts have also ruled that the Russian peacekeepers were attacked by Saakashvili in Georgia. Russia went in 3-4 days. They swept into Georgia. They secured those areas, and once they secured those areas and created what they would call a buffer zone, and everything was secure, they pulled back. And so what could be happening here, and I'm not saying it is, what could be happening is that Russia is going to push the Ukraine army out of the contact line, out of Donetsk and Lugansk provinces. Remember, those provinces that have been recognized, there are portions of those provinces which are still under Ukraine control. So even though you have the republics of Donetsk and Lugansk, those provinces, a certain portion, about 2/3 of those provinces have separated, but there is, say, about 1/3 of those provinces which are still under the Ukraine control. And there is the contact line where you have 60,000 Ukraine troops amassed there. And so this could be a way for Russia to say, you know what, as in Georgia in 2008, we're going to push further east. We're going to unify the provinces of Donetsk and Lugansk. We're going to create a buffer zone. And in order to do that, we're going to decapitate any type of defenses that Ukraine has. So that could explain the missile strikes, what appear to be missile strikes in Boryspil airport, in Kiev, and in Kharkiv. So they're going to take those out. They're going to decapitate and defang the Ukraine military. and any chance of some sort of Ukraine military response. And they're going to push east to create a buffer zone and to secure those provinces. In other words, in essence, to make those provinces whole. So you could say they're going to create a buffer zone and they're going to make those provinces whole to a certain degree. And Putin said that he's not going to he has no interest in in invading Russia's neighbors' land. He said that. So Putin could be saying that what we're going to do is we're going to secure the security, we're going to secure the integrity of Donetsk and Lugansk. We're going to secure those provinces and make those whole to a certain extent. So in Russia's view, all they're doing is they're securing those separated regions which they've recognized, and they're going to create a buffer zone. And the other thing that they're going to do is they're going to denazify the Ukraine military. Now, why did Putin say that? In Donbass, in the Donbass region, on that contact line, a lot of those military forces are Azov battalion. Now, people who don't know what the Azov battalion is, look it up. Basically, they're a far right neo-Nazi paramilitary group, and they pretty much operate outside of the control of the government, outside of the control of Zelensky, and these guys are the real deal. These are not the fake NAZIs that CNN is always talking about, or Pelosi is saying are behind every corner in the United States. No, these guys are the real deal. They're the real deal, and they're 100% NAZIs, and they operate independent of the government to a certain extent, actually to a large extent, and there's a lot of them on the contact line, and so maybe they were the ones that were shelling. Maybe they were the ones that were trying to push forward. I don't know. But either way, that may be what Putin is referencing when he says he's going to denazify Ukraine. Maybe he is Ukraine and the Donbass, because he was mentioning Donbass. He may be saying that, you know what, we're just going to obliterate the Azov battalion that's located in and around the contact line in Donetsk and Lugansk. So that could be what he's talking about there, because the other option, which is the scary option, is if he's talking about denazifying all of Ukraine, well, then he's going to have to pretty much take action against Lviv, because the area in the west, that is the area of Bandera. And if you don't know who Bandera is, do a search, look him up. Nazi collaborator. But in the west, he's seen as a hero and a liberator. But in the west of Ukraine, in Lviv, and in these areas, that is ground zero for Bandera and those NAZI forces. So my belief is that when he's talking about demilitarizing and denazifying Donbass in Ukraine, I think he's talking about the contact line and wiping out the Azov battalion. Any troops that are located on the contact line, they're, it's not going to be good for them. So, the Ukraine military, we're getting reports that the Ukraine military is helpless. They can't do anything. Russia has taken out any type of capabilities they have to mount any type of resistance. I'm sure the 60,000 troops on the contact line they're just sitting ducks at this moment in time. They're going to obliterate the Azov battalion, and we're going to see what they do. Is the Russians going to make Lugansk and Donetsk whole? Are they going to go in for a full-on attack on Ukraine? I still remain skeptical. I still doubt it, but who knows? This is changing every hour. But that's the information that I have, everybody. A final note, this is, once again, the Russians are going to say this is not an invasion. They're going to say that what they're doing is they're responding to shelling and attacks from the Ukraine army towards the east, republics that they now recognize and that they've signed agreements to protect. And the West is going to say that this is an invasion and this is an act of war. And, we're just going to have to, over the next couple days, just sift through the information and try to make a call on this. One more thing is that the Russian government has closed the airspace of airports in and around the east of Ukraine, so like airports in Rostov, for example, which is a country that's located, which is a city, a large city that's located close to Donetsk and Lugansk. The airspace has been closed down there until March 2nd. So they have put a firm date, March 2nd. And that's important, because one thing that the Russians always do is when they take action, they always have a very specific goal and a very specific exit plan. Once again, like in Georgia, they went in 3-4 days, they secured the Abkhazia, Ossetia, and after 3-4 days, they were out. And that may be what's going on here. What was I going to say? This is a gift, in my opinion, and I could be wrong. This is a gift to NATO. It unifies NATO. It does provide a level of unity to NATO, especially the fact that you have the Russian military now on the offensive. The mainstream media is going to definitely frame this as an invasion. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Once again, let's give it some time and see how things shake out. But there's no doubt that the Biden White House and the mainstream media is going to go full on. Russia has invaded all of Ukraine, and this is an act of war. The sanctions, obviously the sanctions are going to hit, level 12, but I think Russia understands that, and they don't care. I've said in many videos, the Russians at this point in time, they don't care about the sanctions from the EU. They don't care about the sanctions from the US. The minute they killed Nord Stream 2, they were like, whatever, now we can act. And we said this on the Duran. The minute they killed Nord Stream 2, it kind of gave Russia freedom to act. It gave them a lot of leeway in the way they would respond to what's going on in Ukraine. And that's what's happened. And I'm very curious to see how the Democrats and how Biden utilizes this. Make no mistake about it. Psaki and Biden, they may seem sad or worried. They're absolutely happy. They're absolutely giddy with this action that has taken place, because this may give the Democrats something to run on as we head towards the midterms. It's going to definitely give the media a very nice distraction away from everything else that's going on. Inflation, the troubles in Canada, all of these things, the mandates. It's going to be a very welcome distraction for the media, and they're going to play this up for months on end. And for the Biden White House, this is a way for the Biden White House to say, you see, we told you they were going to invade. They did invade. And because that's how they're going to frame this, as an invasion. And it might turn into an invasion. We don't know. But they're going to frame this as, we were right. Our intelligence was right. So this is a win for the intelligence agencies as well. And this gives the Biden White House a bump in polls that he's been looking for. Maybe this unites Americans. My question is do Americans really care? Because Biden's numbers on foreign policy are in the crapper. Is this going to give him something to rally voter support around? I don't know. Time will tell there as well. We just don't know. But my view on this is this was, at least initially, this does seem to be a gift to NATO and to the Biden White House. To Europe, to the EU, I think Europe is in the crapper one way or another. I don't think it matters whether Russia invades Ukraine and takes it all, or whether they just secure Donetsk and Lugansk. Europe is the loser any way you cut it. Any way you cut it, Europe and the EU has lost. And they're run by clowns, and they're a bunch of clowns, and Russia knows they're run by clowns, and they're a bunch of clowns. So for me, is this a win or loss for Europe? I think this was a loss for Europe the minute they decided to follow Biden down this terrible path. So that's the video. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to get out to you guys. The Biden White House is already using this as a way to explain inflation. So they already have the media running cover and running reports saying that the reason we have inflation, the reason gas prices have gone up, and the reason they're going to continue to go up, and the reason we're going to have an impossible recession, a really rocky, bumpy road in the economy going forward, is because of Russia. So this was a gift there as well. So anyway, that's my initial quick take. I'm going to get this video up, and this video may be a little rocky here and there, but I'm going to get it up, and we're going to do some lives, and hopefully that gave everybody some sort of picture as to what's going on. Once again, everything that I'm reporting is, 9 o'clock Athens time, 10 o'clock Moscow time in the morning. We're only a couple of hours into this, so things could obviously change. So let me get this up to you guys, and we'll be back later on. Take care.